Okay, I want to welcome you guys. If you've not yet met me, I'm Rebecca, and I am the owner of Leo Tree Wellness. I want to thank you for either being here with me in the Zoom room during this webinar, or maybe you're watching this on Facebook Live. Either way, I'm glad you're here to absorb this information. It's always a really encouraging thing when you have essential oils into your home and you are continuously looking for new ways to implement them, whether it be, adding them into your cooking routine, or whether you're adding them to as they relate to pain and discomfort in your life. There's just so many different ways that you can use your oils. Today's conversation is on sleep and emotions. So I hope this is going to find its way into your life in a very positive way. If you're here, chances are you have essential oils already. You'll see me flip it around. I just want to bring you to a screen show so you can follow along, because I know sometimes it's nice to see something visual. I'm kind of that way myself. But I wanted to talk about this because this is something that I don't think a single one of us can avoid. We are all subject to stress, to sleep issues, and we are emotional beings by nature. We are chemical beings, and everything that happens in our lives is happening on an energetic frequency that causes us to be what you may just traditionally call emotional, but there's some real key indicators when it comes to our health. And therefore, emotions are really, really important to discuss. So let's dive into this together. If you are listening to this and you have your doTERRA membership, which I'm certain most of you will, this is continuing education, meaning that you've had an opportunity to sit in on either a 101 class, or sometimes we call them Essential Oils Made Easy. Hopefully you've had an opportunity to attend one of those. If you haven't, and you're here, and you're finding it a little difficult to connect the dots, join us for one of our Essential Oils Made Easy classes. They happen very frequently. Or if you're interested in gathering a few friends, I was going to say at your home, but no, not at your home, online, we can put together a really beautiful foundational class just to really share with you the basics and get you going with the idea of using essential oils. Continuing education is more focused. We zero in on a particular topic, assuming that you have some oils at home to be able to put into action once we have an opportunity to share today. So again, today's topic is stress, sleep, and emotions. So I have a question for you to kick things off. And obviously you don't have to answer me in the traditional sense, but I would love for you to answer this for yourself. On a scale of 1 to 10, 0 meaning not at all, and 10 being this is a big issue for me, I want to ask you, how often are you aware of being stressed in your daily life? And really be honest, because these are responses that you're not going to be sharing with anyone. How often are you aware of being stressed in your daily life? Question number 2, again, same scale, 0 to 10, 10 being a big problem. How concerned are you about the quantity and quality of your sleep? You can do an and or there. And the last question, the third question, how frequently do your emotions feel difficult to manage appropriately? I feel like this is a really timely conversation because not only is this something that is worth a conversation in ordinary times, we find ourselves right now in very extraordinary times. So if you're scoring higher on any one of these, or maybe all 3 of these, please know that you are part of the norm. And there are some really great natural solutions that will not provoke any side effects, nor will they create any addictions for you. So I'm really glad that you're listening in on this. And perhaps you gave some consideration to these questions and you're thinking, wow, I'm not so much concerned about me, but I've noticed so-and-so is super stressed, not sleeping, highly emotional. We've been living in close quarters with our families recently. So perhaps you're noticing this with your spouse or your significant other, or maybe in your children. So whatever you learn here this afternoon, may I encourage you to apply the same concepts, same philosophies to your children, because please don't forget this. You learned this in the Essential Oils Made Easy classes. doTERRA essential oils, one of the coolest things about them is that they are 100% safe. And that really means that you can use them on any member of the family. Remember this, you can use them on babies, toddlers, kids, adults, and the elderly. Everyone benefits from this. So let's dive in, shall we? I want to talk, I'm not going to get too sciencey because I feel like, let's just keep it really light. We'll keep it really light, and should you have more questions and should you want to go beyond or go deeper with this particular topic, set up a wellness consultation either with myself or with the person who invited you to tune into this, because what we pride ourselves in within our doTERRA team is sharing information. If you want resources or you need really applicable protocols to your specific situation, you say the word and you're going to get some undivided attention and have something that is created perfectly for you to give it a try. Now, keep in mind, every recommendation that we offered to you is subject to some variation. That is to say, if you are, think of it like medication. Sometimes you'll try a medication and it will work brilliantly for you. Maybe you had, an earache or something like that. You took some medication, it cleared it up, it was great. But if you didn't get that earache cleared up, would you think to yourself, forget it, I'm never using medicine again? You wouldn't do that. What you would do is you would reach out to your physician, say, hey, I'm still in a lot of pain here. Can we look at another option? Essential oils are no different. This is plant medicine. So in order for you to achieve results that are really, they meet your goals, we're going to have to find a way to be flexible, and we're going to need to experiment with some of what's available to us, because there is a lot available to us, and you just have to exercise a little bit of patience. But one thing I can assure you of, we will find something that will work beautifully for you. Be prepared to have your socks knocked right off with what these oils are able to accomplish in your home. So let's talk for a minute about the hypothalamus. This is the tiny control tower in your brain. And when you are stressed out, the brain orders a release of hormones. We call those the stress hormones. You guys are probably very familiar with cortisol, one of our stress hormones. The idea behind that hormone being released into the body is actually to protect you. And did you know, at last check, the last research I did, there are a minimum of 50 occasions. So stack this up to the way you responded to those initial first 3 questions. A minimum of 50 occasions throughout the day where you experience a spike in stress. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, there's no way. It's been so chill. I've been relaxed at home. Whatever the case may be, please keep in mind that our bodies do not decipher between good and bad stress. Stress is stress, and the body doesn't decipher between it. So it does exactly what it does under any circumstance. So good or bad, if you become really excited about something, that is a form of stress, and your body will respond to it. And that's not a bad thing. When it becomes an issue is when there are frequent and prolonged episodes of stress. This can really cause devastating effects on your physical and mental well-being. And without a doubt, I know I don't have to ask this. You've experienced this. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Probably even as I mention it, you're being taken back to a time, maybe at a time as right now, where it's frequent and prolonged episodes of stress. Okay, so I'm glad you're listening to this. Some of the symptoms for your consideration, if you really insist on this idea, or the person you're looking to support insists on the idea that they're not stressed, I want to encourage you to help identify some really specific symptoms of chronic stress. That is irritability, anxiety and depression, headaches, insomnia, which we're going to talk about momentarily, poor immune function. We can't afford that right now, ever, but particularly right now, and increased blood pressure. So if you can check the box on any one of those, this is an important consideration, this conversation, okay? Did you know that 70% of problems sleeping are related to psychophysiological issues? 15% of our sleep issues are related to environmental causes, and 15% of them are related to medical causes. Increased cortisol, we know that as the stress hormone. When we increase that level, it means that the melatonin that increases when it's time for us to go to bed will not be able to rise as they should to promote restful sleep. Now, again, I'm going to pause just for a moment here, and I want you to think about how that relates either to yourself or someone that you've witnessed any of this happening within. Working in the natural health realm, I'm being contacted with regularity about kids having issues with sleep, kids having issues with symptoms of anxiety, symptoms of depression. You can begin to see here where all of it is very, very linked. And when you typically see one symptom arise, it doesn't take long for some of the others to follow suit. Symptoms of headache, symptoms of poor immune function. Think about through those winter months when these feelings creep in and all of a sudden, you know, you're catching colds more often, or you're just feeling down and worn out. They're all interlaced with one another. So very important to get to the root cause of this. There are many, I want to make sure I didn't skip anything here. There are some solutions available to you within doTERRA. And with your membership, as you know, you have access to a lot of really great products, and you are always going to get the discounted price because you said yes to becoming a member. If you're not yet a member, what you should know about that is it's kind of like Costco, where you can become a member over at Costco, and you don't have to shop X number of times, nor do you have to spend a minimum amount. Just whenever you feel like coming in and shopping, you're always going to get the coolest products at a discounted price. So doTERRA works much like that. You always get a minimum of 25% off your products. And for those of you who are members, did you know some of these products existed? Let me take you through a few of them as they relate to stress, as they relate to sleep, and as they relate to emotions. This is the beautiful part. You invest in one and you're going to see an improvement, or we assume there will be an improvement. And then you will, because they're so interlaced with one another, you will begin to experience the benefits in other areas of your life. Okay, so that's a really positive. For nightly routines, I want you to know about a product called the Serenity Soft Gels. So this is an encapsulate. This is actually like a supplement. You would take this about an hour before you're ready to go to bed, and it supports the calming of your central nervous system. It's important for you to be able to slow things down before you head to bed. There's lots of great considerations that support sleep, like sleeping in a cool, dark, and quiet environment, but it's also nice to have an additional layer. So if you've had a very stressful day and you're concerned about being able to slow things down, you're going to want to take a close look at the Serenity Soft Gels. Like I said, this is a blend of essential oils, including lavender and cedar wood as examples, that have a constituent in them called linalool, a very important constituent. For those of you science-minded folks out there, you know its beautiful calming effect. This is available to us in the supplement form, making it super easy. You can take it wherever, whenever you need to, and you will notice almost, I would venture to say you would notice even on the first night. Some people notice the first night. Some people need to go a little bit deeper with it. Maybe it's a week, perhaps 2 weeks before they really start noticing the benefits of this particular supplement. But it is, come on, let's face facts here. When it comes to getting a good night's sleep and being able to shut things down, you can you'll take all the help you can get. Am I right? So keep the Serenity soft gels top of mind. Copaiba soft gels. This is a big favorite of mine. These soothe anxious feelings and they promote homeostasis and rest. So imagine, here's the thing, you can combine the two of these. So reducing anxious feelings. This is a big thing for me. I really want to take good care of my health, and I know the emotional state of being anxious does not lend itself well to getting a good night of rest. Pair this up. Many people have done this before, including myself, including my husband. We pair Serenity soft gels with the Copaiba soft gels. Remember, there's no adverse side effects and no risk of addictions, okay? Like other sleep options, okay? Those really run quite a high risk of creating addictions for you down the road. And they can also create some upset in the body. You'll notice here where Copaiba says it promotes homeostasis. That's basically creating balance in the body, allowing the body to do what it does naturally. That is not the approach that other sleep aids take. And if you've taken them before, you know without a doubt you are oftentimes trying to recover in the morning from, yes, a beautiful night of sleep, but the very sluggish effects that it can leave behind because it has overcompensated in some way or another. Another couple products for your consideration in terms of a nightly regimen. Recently, doTERRA came out with 3 amazing products. I can't say enough about them. And if we talk one-on-one, you're definitely going to hear me recommend this, because there isn't a single person that I've spoken to in the past, call it 2 months, 3 months, that I haven't recommended that they get this in their home. So what you're looking at here is a supplement version of a product called Adaptive, and it is a blend that was designed for mental well-being. It's our mental wellness blend. So it's available in the supplement that you see here. It's also available in essential oil form, and I know you're familiar with what that looks like. And it's also available as a roller bottle, like a touch roller bottle. You guys know, you know what I mean by that, right? These guys here, right? So that you can use it aromatically, topically, but this provides you with an option to use internally. This is a combination of 8 key essential oils. Remember that chemical constituent I mentioned before, the linalool, very present in this blend, designed to encourage relaxation, calm you, and promote very positive feelings. The results from anyone, literally 100% of the people who have tried this in my life have experienced a positive effect from this. I feel like this is a slam dunk winner. So not only does this support you in finding relaxation, therefore allowing you to sleep, but it supports you in terms of letting go of those stressful feelings that have accumulated throughout the day, and it supports your mental and emotional well-being. Have you considered, many people do, and still I'm amazed at how many people still don't. There are 3 pillars to health that you cannot separate. You've got your physical pillar, you've got your mental pillar, and you've got your emotional, spiritual pillar. If one of those is off kilter, the other 2 are not as strong as they could be. So without a doubt, there is no way you can be in great health or your top condition without nurturing those 3 categories in your life. It just can't be done. So please, if you haven't been thinking about that for yourself, many of us think about being in good shape in terms of what we're able to do and how we feel and how we look from a physical standpoint, but there's so much more to our total well-being. And I would love for you, if nothing else, you just explore that for yourself beyond today's conversation. And then finally on this page, we have something called the Yarrow Palm Capsule. So yarrow being a very effective herb in promoting cellular health. And this supplement is amazing because it is the delivery system that's encapsulated in pomegranate oil, making it a fascinating product. If you're a science research kind of person, you want to look at the synergistic value of pairing those 2 up. Incredible, noticeable benefits to your skin, And if you choose to use this for promoting cellular health and relaxation, you're going to notice a lot of outward symptoms of using this product. So yarrow palm capsules. The next slide I want to share with you will offer you 4 different essential oils. And remember, in the beginning of this conversation, I said to you, there are lots of different options for our consideration when it comes to stress, sleep, and emotions. These are 4 of many, and I'm going to share 4 more with you in the next slide. But for right now, let's take a look at these. This, if you wanted to create something extra special for yourself, we call this the hibernation roller. So you could pair all 4 of these oils together to create something that truly rejuvenating, creates homeostasis in the body, allows us to release stress, sort of accomplishes all of the things that we're looking to do within our lives in terms of our emotional wellness. Allow me, though, to break it down and give you just the lowdown, really quick point forms on what these oils are known for. So frankincense, one of these days I'm going to teach a whole class on frankincense because it's what drew me to doTERRA in the first place. Its power is limitless. It's known as the king of oils, and there's a very good reason for that. But for today's purposes, it is prized for soothing and settling the mind and easing hyperactivity. You've got your kids home. This I know because I'm in the same boat with you. So if you're looking for some really great strategies on supporting your kids as it relates to these things we mentioned before, lean in really close. The supplements, more for you, but these essential oils, you could pop these in the diffuser. You could create a roller ball with these 4, and you could really begin to notice an immediate effect with your kids, either doing it aromatically or topically. Vetiver, this is a natural tranquilizer, no exaggeration here. It stops the mental mind chatter. And I want to tell you something about vetiver. If you order this because you like what you hear, you like the idea of it being a natural tranquilizer, when it arrives, you're going to open it up and you're going to smell it, and you're going to notice right away how truly earthy it is, like really earthy. When you turn it upside down, of course, to use it, you're going to think it's an empty bottle because it takes a really long time for even a single drop of vetiver to drop out of that 15 ml bottle. Make no mistake, there's 250 drops in there. They just take their time coming out. It behaves coming out of the bottle the same way it behaves in the body. It slows everything down. So even watching it come out has almost a meditative quality to it because you can begin to see how it's going to affect your body. It's a fascinating oil. Do get vetiver into your life. Bergamot. This one is very high in linalool, which is that constituent I've mentioned a couple times already. Great for calming agitation and stress, and it is a natural sedative. Keep in mind, any of these oils I'm talking about, you could use them independently, or as is suggested here, you can use them in a collaborative way, either in a roller, or maybe you like the aroma of 1 or 2 of them. You can add more than 1 essential oil to your diffuser. Get creative with it, experiment, take note of how people in the vicinity of the aroma begin to behave. Those are all really great ways to sort of paint the picture of what works for you and your family, because the right oil combo is out there for you. Last but not least is Roman chamomile. This one has a calming and relaxing effect to it. Even when I take the lid off of it, reminds me of all things like baby, like that softness, subtleness of baby stuff. It soothes the mind and clears the way for a great night of rest. So frankincense, vetiver, bergamot, and Roman chamomile are all great considerations as they relate to stress, sleep, and emotions. Next, I want to share with you 4 of, and I know I say this a lot because I love a lot of essential oils, but all 4 of these, I have seen such magnificent results with all 4 of these. It blows my mind, and it gives me such joy to share them with you because I know how they work. I've literally not just researched these, but literally watched the way they affect people. So let's talk first of all about those feelings of fatigue and needing to, you almost feel like that's all you can do is just rest. Well, we're getting into a bit of a danger zone here where we're not getting good quality or quantity of sleep at night, and therefore we're dragging and feeling lethargic throughout our day. And I know you've got things to do, or your kids, they've got things to do. You want to be able to function well within your day, and that requires a good night of sleep. So let's take a look at how we can support a really good night of sleep. And it starts with this bottle here called Serenity. We've already talked about the soft gels. So you as an adult might look to invest in those for yourself. Keeping in mind, there are some one-offs if you have an older child. Like I have a 14-year-old who's the size of a decent sized man. I would feel perfectly fine giving him the Serenity soft gels. So do ask if you have a particular situation that you're curious about, okay? But for right now, let's talk about the blend itself. Serenity Blend is a combination of lavender and cedar wood for starters. And when you take the lid off of this, it's almost an immediate relaxing feeling. My kids describe this one as smelling like a marshmallow. So if you don't already have this one in your home, maybe that helps illustrate just a little bit of what it smells like. One of my friends, though, she may even be watching this right now. I think she might be. I love the story of how this attracted her to doTERRA. Her husband was someone who was using some sort of sleep aid every single day and was really looking to opt for something more natural, no side effects, no addictive qualities, that kind of thing. And Serenity has been the solution for him. So someone who had never really had much exposure to essential oils at all tries something that applies specifically to a key issue in his life, and the results were magnificent. He's been able to completely, like 100%, dial back the sleep aids, and that's a big deal. That's harsh on the liver. It's a difficult thing for your body to process. So this is beautiful. Put this in a diffuser in your kids' room or somewhere in the home as you're starting to prepare the home for bedtime, right? Ready to go to bed. This is a beautiful sort of signal, if you will, that it's time for everybody to start slowing down. It works like a charm. And while nobody's really aware of what you're doing, you are in fact signaling or queuing up the bedtime routine. I'm going to go to the one below it for a moment. Balance. This one has been, when we were able to teach classes in person, and some of my online classes too, I shared a story of balance, and it's with one of my kids who was having a really difficult time, was in the midst of a full-blown anxiety attack, and it was frightening, and it was something that I had never really experienced before. And as luck would have it, the only bottle of essential oil that was visible to me was on my kitchen counter, and it was a bottle of Balance. So in that moment where I needed to respond well, and by well, I mean provide some calming reassurance and help him through that very stressful, upsetting moment, I was able to grab the bottle of Balance. And what we did was we put a drop in the palm of his hand, and I had him cup his hands, put it right over his face, and just breathe it in. We call that scent tenting. I don't know if you learned that in your Essential Oils 101 class, but if you didn't, it's an amazing strategy. So using your oils aromatically doesn't always mean using them in a diffuser. It can mean lots of other things. And in this case, it was perfect in the palm of his hand. So he breathed it in, and keep in mind, he was crying so hard, he could barely hear me. And as he was breathing this in, I was just talking to him, reassuring him. What I actually did was I described what it feels like going down the last road before we get to our family cottage. And we all love it because we're excited and we're happy and optimistic. And you can actually smell spruce and just all of the beautiful trees that are surrounding us. It reminds me of the smell that comes from Balance. This is a grounding blend, and it includes cypress and spruce, and just basically it's a forest in the bottle. It's very reassuring. From an emotional standpoint, it's considered consoling. And I can speak with authority on this, that it had a very profound effect on my child, on myself, and on my other two kids that were watching the whole thing go down. So it was very, very powerful. I have a connection to balance like no other blend, truly. The next one I would like to share with you in terms of emotions and being supportive of stressful situations. What you're going to find in many recommendations, if you go to some other oils classes, which I highly recommend you do, or you start digging around and doing some research, you're going to find that citrus oils will continuously pop up as recommendations for being supportive emotionally and for helping support stressful moments. And the great thing in knowing how essential oils work, is knowing that you could grab any one of those and they would have a great effect on you. They're very mood boosting. They enhance your mood in so many different ways. So do keep citrus oils in general in mind, but specifically I want to share one with you here called Citrus Bliss. Bliss is the word for it, friends. If you've not tried it, my favorite way to describe it is summertime and creamsicles. So if you're not as old as me, and I don't even know if creamsicles are still available, trust me when I say they were awesome. It's like orange and vanilla sort of combined together. Gorgeous. Makes my mouth water just thinking about it. But this blend is beautiful in the diffuser in particular. And it's invigorating, it's stimulating, and it's motivating. Think about stressful moments, what they have the potential to do to us. They have the potential to slow us down to the point where we are finding ourselves feeling the first symptoms of depression. And if we don't get motivated, and if we don't find a way to support our moods, we will continue to depress and continue and continue and continue to the point where it's an even bigger issue. So I share this with you with the hopes that you will put either Citrus Bliss or a citrus oil of some kind in your next order, because the profound benefits of using this are like nothing I can really illustrate for you until you try it yourself or witness it happening for other people. I do want to add one little caveat there. If you choose to use citrus oils for mood boosting, for relieving stress, the one big safety thing that you need to know about that is citrus oils can create some sun sensitivity. So if you dab it on your skin, which we often say, hey, use your oils topically, you need to know that it does create photosensitivity. And I've seen a couple of my friends recently who are oilers. They know they applied it to the skin. Maybe they didn't realize they were going to be outside that day and they got burned in that exact spot. So heads up to you that essential oils are serious business. You need to use them in a very safe way. The last one I want to share with you is called Elevation. Beautiful, beautiful blend. I think most people who try this one fall for it right away. Not only is it inspiring, it's encouraging, it's cheerful. It's the perfect oil blend to stick in that diffuser next to where your kids are doing their homeschooling, or maybe even at night, paired up with Serenity for creating that cheerful mood. Maybe they've had a tough day. We can only imagine how our kids are processing the emotions of our current situation. That's stress to them. And we know stress leads to sleep issues. And we know lack of sleep lends itself to all kinds of other mental and physical manifestations of health issues. So keep these 4 blends top of mind. Something I didn't put in the slide deck here, but want to tell you about right now is that we actually have, it's not the picture here, but we actually have an entire emotional roller blend collection. Did you know that? So within that collection are blends like forgive, peace, console, cheer, motivate, and passion. I can't believe I just remembered them all. I'm happy about that. So those 6 rollers are designed to conquer the different stages of our emotional well-being. And if you've never tried them, may I recommend that you start with one. You can buy them individually. Or if you're someone like me, when you hear about something that is like literally an arsenal that can take care of all kinds of issues in your home, you want to get them all in, you can buy it as a kit as well. Let me go back to the introduction of adaptive, because it deserves a circle back. I mentioned to you before that this was introduced by doTERRA quite recently, just in September of 2019, almost like a forecast for what we might potentially need in the future. And I can't emphasize to you enough how important it is that you have a tool like adaptive, the mental wellness blend, in your home. Not only is it easy, it's affordable, and you have a membership, so it's super accessible. Now, you as Canadians, I don't know where you're watching this from, but we're waiting on the adaptive supplements to be approved through Health Canada to carry in our Canadian warehouse. But it's okay, because as Canadians, we're still able to order from the US warehouse, which is kind of nice. We can order from either one. So that doesn't limit us to, waiting for it or anything like that. It's important. It's important to have now. And keep in mind, with your membership, you're earning points every time you make a purchase. So definitely worthwhile. So again, just as a reminder, the calming blend or the mental wellness blend is available in 3 different formats. So you can get the supplements, you can get the roller bottle, okay, just to apply topically, diluted with coconut oil already. So it's safe not only for you, but you could provide it to your kids to use as well. If you haven't started to empower your kids with essential oils yet, do make a point to do that. Of course, using one of the diluted roller balls is, in my opinion, the very best way to go, because you could say, you know what, why don't you give this a try? This makes me feel good. I know it's going to work for you too. And encourage your child to sit for a moment and roll it on the bottoms of their feet, or have them apply it where they might apply like a lotion or a cream or something like that. But empower your child. Kids are cool because they're not skeptical. So if it makes them feel good, you won't have to ask them a second time to do it. They will look for that product the second time. That's the beauty of kids, right? The other way that you can get the oil is, of course, in the 15 ml blend, which is great for putting in your diffuser, great for making up your own roller ball should you choose to, great for adding to your bath with some Epsom salts. And if you're a doTERRA member already, a part of my team or an extension of my team, and you don't already have the Supernatural Recipe Guide, you got to put your hands up and let me know, because I want to make sure that you have this epic recipe book. It literally, you guys, has personal care and recipes to use within your home, recipes to use in your cooking regimen. There is so much in there, it will blow your mind. You'll never be at a loss for new and unique ways to use your essential oils, put it that way. Just say the word. What else have we got here? A couple, some recommendations here for you. If you're making notes, or maybe you want to screenshot this, for stress, sleep, and emotions, there's some great diffuser blends that you might want to give a try in your home. But again, my advice would be this: try them, observe the reaction in the home. Okay, it's really important for you to really understand what's working for the people under your roof. But some great examples here. The first one, though, Adaptive and Wild Orange. I don't think there has been a single day in the past month where I haven't added this. So I prepare my diffuser before I go to bed at night. I get the water in there. I add my Adaptive and my Wild Orange, so that when I get up early the next morning, I'm always the first one up. I just click on the diffuser and it's part of my morning routine. Same as Serenity is part of the nighttime routine. The Adaptive and Wild Orange is geared up and ready to roll for morning, because it creates a different response in the body, right? There's lots of other ones here for you to take a look at. You'll see vetiver pop in there a couple times, citrus bliss and sandalwood. Oh, there's some beauties in here. So do take a screenshot of that if you haven't already, or if you would like some personalized recommendations. Again, I'm going to remind you that you can certainly book a wellness consultation and we can go over some specific protocols for you. Last but not least, I want to give you some ideas of what like what the value of these products are and what it could mean for you going forward. Because I know when I first started with my doTERRA Wellness membership, I wanted everything, but I knew I needed to do it strategically. So if stress, emotions, and sleep are a top priority for you right now, I know that it's important that you get these products sooner than later. So based on what we talked about today, here are some suggestions on what you could add to your cart, maybe for next month or this month even. Keep in mind, today, I'm in May 2020 if you're watching this. Today's the last day to fill your cart with 100 PV or more. And regardless of how long you've been in doTERRA and how long your membership is, you're going to earn 30% back on the PV that you spend. And you can see here that this particular package that I put together is worth 131 PV. You would get 30% back on that. You get points back that can be cashed in on future products. So once you get going with this system, you will never not have points in your cart. So sometimes, you know, you'll be able to get 2 or 3, sometimes your entire order almost for free. Okay, so that's an exciting proposition. So keep in mind, for May, today being the last day, but for June and for July as well, anything over 100 PV earns you 30% back on that order. So keep that in mind. And in this collection are the adaptive products, Wild Orange, Copaiba soft gels, and Balance. When you spend this amount also, if you decide to do it on or before the 15th of the month, the PV on this not only earns you 30% back, but it also earns you the free product of the month. So there's lots of perks. And if that doesn't make sense to you, you just have to ask. I mean, we're here to consult you and to really help you maximize and leverage your membership. That's super important, not only to myself, but our entire team. Doesn't matter who you ask, you're going to get a really supportive response from. Okay, so I think I'm going to wrap it up there. There's a lot of information to take in, I know, as it relates to sleep and stress and emotions. I hope this has been beneficial to you. I hope that you've had an opportunity to write down a few oils that could be helpful to you, that you want to explore and experiment with a little bit. And I hope that adaptive at some point in time, maybe it's the first cart, maybe it's a future cart, please make sure that at some point in time you give some consideration to bringing this blend or the supplements or the roller bottle into your life, maybe all three. There's actually there is a kit available in the US right now. It will soon be available to us here in Canada. We're a little slower in Canada just because we have a little bit more stringent vetting system. So our government has some additional tests that products just have to go through. So we need to appreciate that. And while it takes a little longer sometimes, we know it's worth it in the long run. But the collection is going to be made available soon. So the supplements, the roller, and the oil are going to be made available along with an app. And I know that that sounds strange, but hear me out on this. This app is designed to take the best of lots of different things. Like if you meditate, for example, it takes the meditation apps like Headspace or Calm. If you use any of those, it takes the absolute brilliance of those and pairs them up with a voice system that can identify where you're at with respect to stress and what your emotional condition is. So the idea is that you would speak into this, you would be using it, maybe you would be saying a mantra or something along those lines. It would capture the very specific biomarkers in your voice. We have many, many, many of them that tell a significant story about our emotional well-being. You would then use the products as they're intended to be used, then revisit the app, and you will notice a marked improvement in your emotional state. So for those of you who really need proof on things like that, I think you're going to be wild about this new app that'll be available to us soon. So I'll be in this group and I'll be hopping on Zoom to share as soon as we have access to that, because I think it's one of the single best things that we can offer, not only to ourselves, but to others. I know that this is going to be something that is giftable. You can purchase this and gift it to other people. So very exciting to look forward to. So in conclusion, I want to thank you for carving out some time to be here with me this afternoon. It's always great to have people who are interested in natural solutions. I continue to run these continuing education classes on Thursdays at 2 p.m. There's 8 different topics that I really like to address, and then we kind of go back and repeat through them. But if you have a specific topic that you would like for me to address, I'm always open to creating something that is customized to where you're at. So if that suits you, definitely reach out to me. For now, I'm going to wish you a great day. Stay happy, stay healthy. And again, thank you so much for being with me. It's truly appreciated.